Houston Center for Contemporary Craft is currently hosting an installation that examines the connection between sound and vision. Visitors are invited to play 3 iron gates created by Metalsmith Gabriel Craig, along with Houston composer Michael Remson's score, inspired by Craig's process. The artists feel the collaboration expanded their creative vocabularies.
I think with any collaborator, the fun of the collaboration, or at least part of the fun, is in learning the way the other person thinks and in learning how to communicate with one another, creating that common language that I think is the basis for every collaboration, because Gabriel and I needed to learn each other's way of talking about metal and about music and about sound and about how people would interact with this piece. And so all of those things together, that's for me the most fun of the collaboration is kind of teaching each other and learning from each other and that way of language and talking about art.
And when you collaborate with someone else, they have different areas of expertise and different ways of thinking and thought models. And really what I find that it does is it expands the possibilities of what can be achieved. It's always been important to fully realize an idea and to push the work into a realm that I'm uncomfortable. Because I think when you're uncomfortable, that's when you know you're making good work.
Learning these new ways of thinking gave each artist a greater appreciation of the other's process.
I've always been a music enthusiast and definitely admired music as an amateur player, but I think that through this project I've realized some of the real complexities of music composition, and definitely I've learned a lot about instrument making, because essentially what we've created is 3 large instruments that are keyed percussion instruments. So I've learned a lot about percussion composition and different things that are happening in the contemporary percussion worlds, and I think that hopefully that influenced the design and how the piece was realized.
I gained a real appreciation for the time involved, and I know a lot of people don't know how long it takes for music to get written and think sometimes it just sprouts out of our head and that it isn't a long act, but the truth is it was my part of the equation here was nowhere near as much time as Gabriel put in terms of making and forging and creating all the individual keys and the armature for the work. I mean, it was just an astounding amount of time. And what I learned as we've been installing the piece these last couple of days is the incredible attention to detail, which is something I take pride in my own work, but it was fun to see it from the art perspective as well, this really fine-tuning in on every detail of everything that you see in front of you here. So that was not necessarily a lesson for me, but it was fun to watch it. It made me respect our process that much more.
Curator Anna Walker believes the participatory aspect of the work will give visitors a similar experience.
Hammering that happens in a blacksmith forge is very loud, it takes a lot of force, there's a lot of energy behind it, and also sometimes it's very soft and you have to be very careful. But when you're working in the blacksmithing forge, those sounds that the blacksmiths are using help them to better understand the materials that they're forging and that they're making, and they're better able to make what they want by being in tune with all of their senses. So in a sense, when you go into the gallery space, your actual act of hammering references the act of hammering that was used to make the works as well. So there's this nice, hopefully this nice sort of cross happening of your senses that allows you to better understand how the objects were made also.
Soundforge will be on display through January 8, 2012. For more information, visit the museum's website at www.crafthouston.org. For Artbeat, I'm Stacee Hawkins.